Hello students. It's been a while since we've had something recorded and on my YouTube channel, but now we start to shift focus and we're going to start reviewing for the state exam. And in each one of these videos, I'm going to be going through the multiple choice reviews. This is going to be review number 1. This will be the answer key. And clearly you can fast forward these videos to get to the questions that you know based off of Schoology that you have already missed. So let's get started. It's a new camera, so we're going to see how it goes as far as lag time is concerned. But number 1, should be recent. We just did this question not that long ago. And these are all questions that we have done over the course of the year. It's just I've never really gone over them with you. So number 1, Cassie rolls a fair number of cubes, 1 through 6. She rolls a number cube. What is most likely? Well, to get a 1 or a 2, the probability of getting a 1 or a 2 is 2 out of 6. And if you take that over 300 times, that means that you should expect 100 out of 300 times to get a 1 or a 2. Right? The other thing we have to talk about is, in probability, we don't talk about exactly, because we can't predict that something exactly is going to happen. Right? So 100 out of 300, well, this is saying out of 50 times. So if you take 3 out of 6, which is, she rolls an even number, and over 300, that's 150. So the answer is C. Right. Number 2, this is where we talk about strategies. Clearly, in order to, remember the word is combine. In order to combine fractions, you have to have the same denominator. Right? But here's something else we should notice, is that I can combine those. And these are all plus signs in here, by the way. Right? So they're all plus signs. So you can combine those, but if you notice, those are a 0 pair. So those actually will just cancel out. So all I'm left with is negative 4/5. All right, and the negative in the middle, we've talked about how you just put the negative with the top number, plus 5/4. All right, so now when you get a common denominator, it's only between these two. Okay, the least common denominator between 5 and 4, the smallest number they both go into is 20. All right. Now, we carry down the negative and that positive there. So this would be multiplied by 4, so this would be 16 by 4. Remember, when we do this, we have to, whatever we do to the bottom fraction, we have to do the top. Here we multiply both top and bottom by 5. And we get 25. All right, now be careful when we combine. If I take $16 away from you, but I give you back 25, the signs are different from each other. So that should be plus 9, which would be 9/20. All right. Number 3. Write an equation. Which equation can be used to determine X dollars per hour for a 5-hour job? That's 5X. All right, plus $70 for parts is the 320. Okay? But if you notice, that's not any of the choices. So what we're looking to do is maybe take an additional step. So what's going to happen to the 70 on the right side of the equation? Because we look at these two here. Now the 70 and the 5, the $70 and the 5 hours don't get added and they don't get subtracted. So you should be able to get rid of those two. But what ends up happening is to solve this equation, you got to subtract the 70 from both sides first. So the answer to this is B. All right, moving on. This might end up in 2 videos. We'll have to see how that works. Relationship between the length of one side of a square, x, and the perimeter of a square, y. All right, well, here's this. Ready? Make a table. All right. And here's a square. If it's a 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 square, the perimeter would be 4. If the length of each side is 2, a 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 is 8. Okay. And if you start looking at your choices, choice B. Right. Number 5, 2/15 of a mile in 20 minutes. All right, there's 2 ways to do this. 2/15 of the mile divided by 20. They work at the same rate, 1 hour. All right, one way to do it is to do it this way, where you have to put the 20 over 60 because it's 20 out of 60 minutes for an hour. Right? The other way is what I like doing. I like breaking this up into 20-minute segments. Every 20 minutes is 2/15. So if I go up to 40 minutes, that would become 4/15. And if I go up to 60 minutes, that becomes 6/15. Okay? Every 20 minutes is 2/15. I really like this strategy for these types of problems because it does make the math a little bit easier. All right, I think anyways. All right, so if you look, clearly the 6/15 is not one of your choices, so we got to reduce it. 3 goes into 6 twice and the 15 5 times. The answer is C. Number 6, combine. Sum means we just straight up combine, so we can put x plus y underneath, put 1s in front of them, 2x and x, 3x, and negative 5y plus 1y would be plus 4y. Actually, sorry, minus 4y. Before any of you that keep track of my mistakes catch that. All right, number 7. Which steps can be used to solve for the value of y? All right, well, this is one where you really have to be very careful about the order. By putting a set of parentheses, you change the order of operations, which means that technically we need to get rid of the 2/3 first because it's outside the parentheses. So we have to divide by 2/3. Once we divide by 2/3, then we'll subtract the 57 from both sides. All right? And that's all because by putting a set of parentheses, you change the order of operations. So when you undo it, that changes the order. And I think this is where I'm going to pause the video, or I'm going to stop this video. And I'm going to try to make this in 2, and we'll see how this works out. So stay tuned for part 2.